I did not say it's wrong. I was muted. Peace and love. How are you all? Love from above, right? Heavenly Mother and Father. Last night we were not able to do the our blogs. How many tried to tune in? You tried to tune in. It was blog talk technical difficulty, and we were going to be discussing some things about Hillary Clinton. Truthfully, though, about Hillary Clinton's frankness, as they called it, regarding Black Lives Matter. Did you ever hear her mention black people? No. She never once called the people black people. I will say this. One of the reasons why we don't want to really go through that today is because we wanted to have the other hosts, Cujo and Ms. Raim, to input what we had listened to, because there's little pieces of it on YouTube. But there's some that's not on there. It's cloaked under a title. What's the name of that it's cloaked under, Anna E. with a sister? That democracy something, something, something. It's such a title that you wouldn't even be interested, where the first person who really spoke was Hillary, according to what we see in the tape, was really a sister. And that part, I mean, it's on YouTube. Well, you got the name of it? Well, it doesn't matter. All right, we'll find it. Anyway, it's, okay. Well, because we don't want to really get into it without having the input of all the hosts on that. But this is just a couple of things, because one of the things that I wanted to, what I recognize, and is that she never once called people black people. Did anybody notice that? Even though so-called black people were standing before her, she never called them black people. She said those who are deserving of rights and liberties. Listen to it now, because we're so used to not listening and not having the right words, and not knowing the stance, for instance, of someone in the stature of Hillary Clinton being a politician, a trustee, and also coming from, a corporate position. Really, as Moorish, here's how I feel. Hold on, I got to get something from my, I can walk, right? Oh, good.
It's called, the name of the YouTube clip is When Black Lives Matter, Meet Clinton Activists Speak Out on Challenging Candidates Over Crime Records.
Now, did you say that over the air? People heard you over there? What you just said? Did you? Repeat what and where you can find this clip of the sister who spoke to Hillary Clinton first. Democracy now. So check that out. You see that title? Would that have compelled you to really look at that? No. So that's where the sister had addressed Hillary Clinton first. So you wouldn't even go to that. It sounds like something, because first of all, the whole point is, well, the thing is that going to Moors to say they are national, right? What's that? You see? I should burn some. I should burn some sage. Moors who say they are nationals, Moors who say they are nationals, right? And then go in front of a public trustee who is representing the corporation of the United States of America, and everything they do and say, and everything they respond to will be from that position. It's really like, what do you expect them to say? Then on top of that, they say, oh, democracy. Now, we know democracy is inferior, which is why democracy, this is not a democratic form of government. So if they want to play democracy in their lives, that's on them. That doesn't mean that they're not held to the law of the land, which we Moors are supposed to uphold, and are not doing it. And then keep going to people who are letting you know, were you looking for the red door? Because I'm the blue door. Can't you see the blue all over me? Why are you knocking at my door? But since you ask, I can only give you the answer within the capacity of which I have to give it. You see what I'm saying? You're getting that? And that's what it's like. Now, because of that, let's see clearly, let's be honest with ourselves again. That right there is ludicrous. It shows people that what they were phrased as not deserving of. That brings fear to anyone else on the planet, that the people who are the mothers and fathers of civilization, divine beings, have dominion over everything, is asking the blue dwarfs to give them some freedoms or some whatever. Or, well, why don't you change your laws? Understand, we're seeing we're more American nationals and doing things that are like black people because we have not been born again yet in the mind. We have not been cleansed of these things that have been put into, like we have to have, I always say, the exorcism to get rid of that, those things that are not true, or don't allow us to ascend in our thinking. So this is what it looks like. I'm trying to get if you could get a visual of it. So as a result of those who say they are the nationals, and this is the ancestral estate of which is truth, who are going to someone else looking for some resolve. And that someone else has shown all along that they don't think you're deserving, not that they don't think you're deserving, but you are acting as if you don't deserve that which is divinely already yours. Because maybe you were not aware that it's divinely already ours. So they go in secret and have secret meetings, and this whole thing reminds me of something I'm going to read briefly from the King Alfred play. Y'all have seen the King Alfred or heard of it on page 7 under, believe it or not, the title of energy, because we're all energy. And so that position is likened to the following. In other people's minds, when they see nationals, who are the mothers and fathers of civilization on the planet, taking messages to all four corners of the earth from the prophets, right? Standing on their own ancestral state, and then they come and do something like ask somebody else that's saying, we're a democracy, and we will continue to try to grow that and suck you into it, too, in your lack of knowledge. What answer do you want us to get? And we're running a democracy on your ancestral state, which has already been defined. It's a Republican form of government. And it looks like we got most all of y'all being Democrats. You're a little late. What's up? What do you want from us? This is our plan. So rising up is more than what it appears to be, isn't it? So what they're thinking and why they're doing, this is what they're thinking of us when this is going down. Here it is. In 1954, there was the issue of who will be the beneficiaries, right? All right. Let me just skip. I'm not reading the first beginning of that. But the beneficiary of the sources of control of social energy, that's what they're talking about, right? Page 7. So it says, although the so-called moral issues were raised, right? In view of the law of natural selection, it is agreed that a nation or world of people who will not use their intelligence are no better than animals who do not have intelligence. Such a people are beasts of burden and stakes on the table by choice and by consent. Consequently, in the interest of future world order, peace, and tranquility, because let's get real. If you don't know who you are, and you actually think that someone else owes you something that they do not, and you constantly pulling on their skirt, knocking on their door, looking for them to fix your social problems, they know there's a problem. It's scary. It's scary. Because if it's in your hands, and you don't know your position, then it doesn't need to be in your hands, so one might be thinking, because being the mothers and fathers of civilization, you ought to know certain things. And you do. They're just deep within the DNA. You know what I'm saying? But the law is imbued within you already, and that's what has to come out. and rising to this consciousness. And if it doesn't happen, then this is what we're doing. So, in the interest of future world order, remember, this is how the other people are thinking. Oh, shoot, that's the base, that's the law enforcement. They don't know what's up. We're in trouble. Doesn't matter who caused the trouble. Doesn't matter why we are where we are. None of that matters except for right now and what we do to move forward with it. Why is to say, well, I can't do this because so-and-so did that. Well, I was going to do that, but, so-and-so, they did something else and they messed me up. Well, all of these are called excuses. They are excuse me for not doing what it is that I am obligated to doing because I am giving you excusing things that will never have me move forward if I keep relying on or depending on the fact that somebody else didn't do what they were supposed to do. Do you understand? That's first and foremost with your energy, right? So what we think we're doing when we're giving excuses, we think we're giving reasons, but the crap ain't reasonable. It's not reasonable, so therefore, it's not reason. We think we're giving reasons, and all we're really giving, I just went out. Huh? Yeah, I just heard. Oh, all right. Now I heard it. Oh, that was interesting. We think we're giving reasons. Reasons means you have, with a reasoning mind, deducted something, decided something, and analyzed something, reasoned something. So what's the reason why you haven't done that now? And then you start to, well, so, that's an excuse, not a reason. We think it's a reason, but it has no reasoning to it. It's limited. And if any of us were to do that, we would constantly never get past this. We can only go this high. Like I say, that's the ceiling. You can't go beyond. Because you're down here with, excuses. And this is why a lot of people, they don't, they use that as to why they can't, move forward. But, reasonably, if you're at A and you're trying to get to D, you got to go to B and C. How you get there? Well, but you got to do that. So if you never get to move because so-and-so didn't do this or didn't do that, guess what? The end result is your behind doesn't get from A to B. That's it. That's all. So figure it out. All right. So consequently, in the interest of future world order, peace, and tranquility, it was decided to privately wage a quiet war against the American public, with an ultimate objective of permanently shifting the natural and social energy, which is the wealth, undisciplined and irresponsible many, into the hands of the self-disciplined and responsible, worthy few. So, they decided they were the responsible, someone else decided they were the responsible, worthy few, but they sure was easy to identify who was the irresponsible and undisciplined. Because we can't sit here talking about we're mothers and fathers of civilization. We was all, manifested in the flesh, and then we go on and asking someone else. Asking someone else to allow this to happen. Look. Hillary said, well, you can't change the hearts of everybody.
All right. Isn't it, though? I just bought it.
It's beautiful.
Anyway, so they waged this quiet war, and they've decided that really, let's look at ourselves. We're the law enforcement, the bays. We are bays, heels and bays, lawmakers, law enforcement, lawmakers, law enforcement, lawmakers, law enforcement, and we're going to someone else who we actually established to operate upon our land, because remember, we established them, period. They had to provide. So we're going to them saying, well, can you change the hearts of the people? And when you say, no, you can't really change the hearts of the people, Why the heck you going to change my heart? When everything that you do, everything that we do, everything that anyone does is truly, truly based from the core of what is in their heart. Because the heart is the core of your being. Because you have the book called The Core Us. For the core. You're going to follow the dictates of your soul, which rested there as light, really. So if you're doing what you want to do that is upon the wording I want to use, upon what your heart, your soul dictates to you, how am I going to change that for you? That's for you to do. So, but he said, well, we can change some laws. Don't blame her. Because in our little democracy we got going on, we do this, and the other thing. You want us to change some laws to include you? I thought you were the law. I thought you were the law. I thought you laid the law down to us. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What the heck is going on? That we would say we're more American nationals, lineal descendants, ancestral estate. Others are operating on our estate, clearly established by the agreement, clearly established that this is what's going on. And we're telling around to them and saying, oh, I need you to change the law. They don't have laws. They don't have laws. They have rules. Huh? They got rules and regulations and civil procedure, right? That's all they got. What are we talking about? And whatever they got is not for you. It's for them. And they're telling you we're a democracy. It's like me going over here and starting a club called the Red, Blue, Green Club. Just saying. And here are the bylaws of my club. So if you're in the club, you go by this. Does it necessarily have anything to do with law? Or the law of the land? So why you should obey the law? No. So they set up their club, it's called a democracy, has jack to do with law on this land. They got their bylaws. They might do some things in their private clubs, but, as long as they don't infringe upon the rights of the others to remain within the bounds of law. Period. But because of our brainwashing, because of the mental slavery, we do believe that they should go change something in their club to fit you. Get out of here. That's some craziness. Do you see the craziness? Do you see the ludicrousness of it all? Do you see why they implement things? Because they're scared. That's some scary thinking. Man is mind gone nuts. Because mind is over matter, so if you're thinking it, next thing you're going to do is be doing it, and it's scary. I'd be scared, too. Bunch of nationals talking about this is there in Central City, going to somebody in a democracy saying, can you please change your laws for us? It's a contradiction all the way home. Now, some of you may say, why do we send our judicial notice, name correction judicial notice to departments of state, such as when Hillary Clinton was no longer the Secretary of the Department of State, John Kerry is, but nonetheless, well, why do you do that? Because it's a judicial notice. It ain't asking them jack. It's telling them. And notice to the agent, so notice to the principals, notice to the agent. They're over all 52 states, that's why. Right? Attorney General. He's over all the Attorney Generals of all 52 states. That's why. Are you asking? No. But we got people that think that, well, I didn't hear back. Still waiting. Is it all right if I do this name correction and judicial notice of proclamation? Is it okay with you guys? Talking to the European Department of State, it ain't got jack to do with you. You understand the psychology here? So now we get into the psychology of astrology, which is the law. But so are we seeing, the picture a little bit more now? That this is an obligation and a responsibility that we must come up to, and that it starts with self. Oh, it starts with self. Oh, my gosh, really? I don't know nothing. What do you mean it starts with me? I don't know nothing. That's why you study. And so what do you do? You study with self, lower self, higher self, because this is about angels and demons. That's it. That's all. Democracy is demi, meaning inferior. Got that? They already know they're not the. It's really what it does is my rule. So when you look in, for example, we had the definition out of the military. And one of these, when we, give this away to all those who come here new, and also those who do a book order, we give it away as well. And inclusive in it. Are you taking that too? Oh, she won't need the projector though. You're not going to do the projector, right? Because she decided not to do that class. Oh, yeah. Well, yes. Okay, I'm going to do it, astrology. Huh? Now? Really? Everything all right? Okay, all right. All right, peace. You got your bud, right? All right. Yeah, you can set that up if you like, Dan. Here we have is just to give you the definition. Because, I had somebody call me years ago, and they wanted to make a point that what a republic was and what a democracy was. And it had been so long that we had accepted the democracy thinking it was a republic that the definition and the defines and understanding of it, as fine as it was, the distinctions, they believed that it was something that it was not. So I had to send down, because it's been so long going on that, remember, you change the people, you change the literature, right? So for the reference points, which is why it's so important that we salvage, that we become authors of our own, information, because they have been hiding a lot of it. Look, they hid Yahshua's stuff in the Vatican, right? Right? We got something we may go over tonight, too, with that a little bit, because it sends you to astrology, actually, because it's really about astrology and about your Earth Mother. So naturally, it's not a step on Mother. Don't you want to talk about Mother? Oh, my gosh. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Where do I go? Well, I don't know. She's first teacher, and, all that. Can't deny that. And now where do you go is where did you come from? But anyway, so the clear definitions and defines of the difference between a democracy and a republic has been lost in the translations and source for what has been given to us, all right? So democracy, a government of the masses. You're probably saying, no, that sounds great so far. Authority derived through mass meeting or any other form of direct expression. Any other form of direct, that's scary. Results in mobocracy. This is from the military training manual, everyone. So, mob rules, right? So the democracy is a mobocracy. Okay. Attitude towards property is communistic, negating property rights. Attitude toward law is that the will of the majority shall regulate. The will of the majority shall regulate. Let me just stop right there. To all of my brethren, like the nationals, think they're Democrats. They become a part of that majority. Do you get it? You become in the numbers of, let's start with the state. If you say, I'm a member/citizen resident of the state, you just gave the state numbers. Because you're not a citizen/member or resident of the state, because you can't be, because this is your ancestral estate, national domicile. So how can you be? And plus, you established that. We established that so that they would have a place to be. You understand? So you cannot be a member of that. This is one of the big things that is a problem when you go to certain institutions, including most to all MST of A's, and you're dealing with them, and they're telling you that you are a citizen of the United States of America, which you are not, nor could you ever be. I mean, it's even in the 13th Amendment, because there's some that say in the 13th Amendment they follow the 13th Amendment with the original 20 sections. Do you? Because I believe it's 12 that says you can't be a member of the United States of America. Adar. What are you doing? If you're infiltrating an agent work without knowing it, that's worse than knowing it. It doesn't matter what. It's an infiltration of facts. So going back here, all of our Moors who say they're Democrats, they don't realize that they're jumping over here and being the numbers to this other thing that's a corporation and that's democracy. And they are defying and denying the fact that they are a Republican form of government establish a Republican form of government for all people here. But if I want to, behind closed doors in my house, do it the other way, that's my business. But now when it's leaking out into society, then you have to deal with the fact that as society starts with government, which is the governing mind, so does the authority to govern it. So how do they get the authority to do that? And you don't. It starts at home, and we're one. So moving right along, the will of the majority shall regulate, and that's what we got. They're regulating from a democracy, people say demon crab or mob. It already says it's mob. Whatever. I don't care what it says. It ain't the Republican form of government guaranteed. How's that? So if someone is not following the Republican form guaranteed to all of its members, you're not going to get remedy. Ha-ha. What about that? It is guaranteed the Republican form, and you're coming about some stuff that has to do with a democracy where you don't get remedy in that. But they got you over on that side saying, oh, yeah, I'm a Democrat, when none of that has really anything to do with the form of government. It's just like these layers of information. They're saying, oh, are you a Democrat or Republican, a liberal, a right wing, a left wing? What's the other one? A Tea Party? Remember, which one are you? None of that matters. None of it, because this is the Republican form of government. So that's the playing a game with you, playing with your mind, making you think that you can make those decisions. It's craftily set up to trap and has done it well. It's gone. Where's he needs the microphone. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Can you hand that back to him, please? Thank you very much, Mom.
Islam.
Yes, Islam.
Would you say that's like someone going to ask a Democrat for Republican rights?
Well, kind of, sort of. Yeah, and the fact that we're going to anything established under the United States of America, or to the trustees or public officials who have already taken an oath to uphold the law. You know what I mean?
But they're claiming that they're Democrats.
I know, that's why they're scared. These people are crazy. I want you to look at it from that perspective. That's what they're looking at. It's scary. Let's put them all in jail or something until they figure it out. Until they become corrected. We're scared of these people because they don't honor their own. And if you don't honor your own, as it says in the Bibliotheliotech, along with many teachings of Yeshua, honor your mother and father so that the days can be lengthened on this earth plane. So if you don't honor your own, anybody else is going to be absolutely going to stay the hell away from you because something's wrong. If you don't honor yours, you aren't going to honor them. So that's why you'll even have some grumping that got melanin in them coming from somewhere else, and they ain't going to say nothing. You're not going to say nothing. Plus, they're afraid to say something because you might get upset with them. You know what I mean? So we complain about, quote-unquote, foreigners being over here. They just put a glass up between you and them and tell you all the things you need, and you complaining about some other stuff. See what I'm saying? Because they know that you're not reasonable. So this has become incestuous. So here we go. Let me just finish this one paragraph definition of the democracy. It says their attitude toward property is communistic. Negating property rights, attitude toward law is that the will of the majority shall regulate, whether it be based upon deliberation, or governed by passion, prejudice, and impulse without restraint or regard to consequences. This is the democracy. Result is demagogism, license, agitation, discontent, and anarchy. And you wonder what's going on. Now, let's read what Republican is. Authority is derived through the election by the people of public officials best fitted to represent them. Authority is derived through the election by the people of public officials best fitted to represent them. Attitude towards property is respect for laws and for individual rights and a sensible economic procedure. Attitude toward law, I read this wrong. Attitude toward property is respect for laws and individual rights and a sensible economic procedure. Attitude towards law is the administration of justice in accord with fixed principles and established evidence with strict regard to consequences. So they say, they stop you, right? Hinder you, stalk you. Then they lie on you and said you was resisting arrest or some crap when there wasn't even an arrest warrant for evidence that there ever was an arrest. What did you stop me for? You can't sit right here and be judge and jury and say that I'm where's the arrest warrant? It's according to the principles and procedures. Do you understand what it's saying? Because, remember, go back to the democracy. It says whether it's by passion, based upon deliberation or governed by passion, prejudice, and impulse without restraint or regard to the consequences. And that's what they do all day long, democracy. All right? They don't respect the law, because if they were, there would be no democracy. But because we're asleep, they said that. So now, as our daily bread, I got to talk like that now for something I just said. But anyway, Baby Sharice, know what I'm talking about. I'm going to share that with you in a moment. Now, let's keep going here in the definition of republic. With strict regard to consequences, meaning that these people who say they're sitting in seats of government and public officials, of which they really are not, because they don't have an oath of office, nor do they have a delegation of authority to operate, but they know that you don't know that, and that's what they've been doing. But those who do, they would have a concern about the consequences for them, doing the wrong thing. These people over here in the democracy, the demon crowd, they don't have concern about the consequences of what they do, because they do it through prejudice, as it says, that a democracy could do. And it's definitely prejudice. So when people ask why was there this mass thing of grabbing up all the brothers and Moorish brethren and hanging them on trees and stuff, is because there's a mob and they were prejudiced. That's why. And they didn't care about the consequences. That's what a democracy does. Now, when they first started doing, let me just finish reading this because I got to share something with you about the sign of us supposedly starting to vote again. So it says, a greater number of citizens and extent of territory may be brought within its compass. A greater number of citizens and extent of territory may be brought within its compass. This is a republic. Because everything is for the people, by the people. You can't really buy land. That's a big joke. How the hell somebody going to buy land when it's an inheritance and an estate and the land doesn't go anywhere? It can't be bought, can't be sold, and it can't be transferred. So, a greater number of citizens and extensive territory may be brought within its compass. Avoids the dangerous extreme of either tyranny or mobocracy. Results in statesmanship, nobles, liberty, reason, justice, contentment, and progress. I have the right to do whatever I want, provided I don't infringe on your right to do the same, and that's respect. The biggest right we have is the right to be left alone and to provide we don't infringe on someone else. All right, so now, as far as voting goes, we're not supposed to be voting for their officials anyway, because they're not ours. That's their little game. That's like playing doctor or something, that, playing house or whatever like that. It's not for you. It's their stuff, as long as they stay within the bounds of law that has already been established. All right? And this is what we have not done. And this is the law that is inscribed. This is divine, really, law as well, because the Constitution, for instance, which was not written for us but for them, but we are to enforce it, it's written in the principles, ancient principles of, on the spirit of divine law. Yes, it is. You know what I mean? That's why they say it's the oldest Constitution. It's really the principles imbued within it. And here we're the people who taught, and we don't know it. Now, if I was on the other side of this fence, I'd be scared of scared of you too. You understand what I'm saying, right? I really would. Dangerous. Let's launch a quiet. Matter of fact, let's launch a war. Silent, quiet one with silent weapons. And what are the weapons they use? It's in the King Alfred. It says they shoot situations. I got a situation. They trying to take my this or do my that, or take my baby, or whatever. Their situations. That's all that's being shot at you with those guns. Is situations. They put you in situations. Now, the situation they put Moors in now is, well, not now. It's always been because of the rising of Moors, but still the inadequacy of most and the inability to follow through with law, which comes from within, right? And also, the other thing that's happening now is a lot of propaganda is being placed in front of Moors that they're reading in regards to things that might work for foreigners in our land, but they're not for you. They're not for you, including this whole sovereign movement. That ain't got jack to do with you. Babe, can we put this site up on here for a minute? I'm looking for a definition. I had, for instance, we do a lot of studies in commerce without really understanding that you can do as much commerce as you want, but you better be in your proper person first. So if you're not in your proper person, knowing who you are in terms of your social status, then you are, none of that applies to you. The commercial laws, the UCC, none of it applies to you if you're not in your natural person status. But when we tried to tell people that, that's 3-4 years ago, they weren't listening because they were chasing after a carrot. And there's always another carrot that's going to go down. Always another carrot that's going to go down and be put in your face to follow. And that's what we do. Now we tell people to study, and we're studying stuff like a lot of stuff that the Europeans studied to try and be the sovereign here, found out they can't be the sovereign. They're the ones who were getting arrested for the sovereign citizen movement, not you, because they can't be sovereign here, period. They're not the sovereigns here, right? Right, and they may... Never have been, never will be. That's right, never have been and never will be. That's not a guess. That's an obvious thing. Just look at the... Where did you say? Oh, my grandmama came on from Ellis Island on the... Okay, all right. Oh, excuse me, what's the definition of American? Various copper-colored people found on the continent by the European. Duh.
They take old, rough on and free public form of government. After they take the oath, then they violate it by saying afterwards. They violate it by saying months.
Yeah. So they just took that look. They didn't trick you out. They didn't trick you. They the real thing. Yeah. But they've always done that and this is why. Now it's like this is serious time. Because they went bankrupt before, came back up in 1870. No, they didn't follow the laws before of the land. They had nothing to do with money, really. Not really. I mean, they didn't have that anyway, but they didn't follow the law. They broke the law. And so what happened was that? Oh, it's there. I'm looking for it right here. All right. Huh? No. Well, yeah, not behind me. Well, I think there's it. I don't like it. How crooked? I'm just used to being over there because it's easier like this. But How crooked? I only want to show something. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if it's an impossibility, I'll do it that way. But so what the thing is that so now they sovereign citizen. But here's the problem: a lot of Moors will talk about, yeah, I'm a sovereign citizen. Yeah, I'm gonna go get my sovereignty through the UCC. Well, you confessed it out of your mouth. You gave them reason to come after you and assume you were part of the sovereign citizen movement because you didn't have enough knowledge or trust in the fact that the only way. I said the only way. I said the only way you gain sovereignty is through your national status. Period. So there's a lot of things running around on this earth. I think you better be real clear about what your status is. What is status? We were just going over this in another class Saturday in Philadelphia, St. Ron's class. It was a great question because the question was a great question because the question was asked about, well, do you know? I forgot what the question was. Do you know that you're a Moor? Right? Because do you know you're a Moor? What does it mean to be a Moor? Whatever like that. And then something came with the word status. So the answer came from it saying, I know I'm a Moor, but that's all I know. Because, that's what's in the air. If it's all in the air, it's all in the mind, it's all in the mind, it's all in the air. I know that, but I don't know. And then another sister said, well, what do you mean by status? Good question. Because the answer over here was, I'm a Moor. The answer over here, well, what is status? Because if you know you're a Moor and you don't know what status is, you just told me your lineage, by saying you're a Moor. And you're right. That's your lineage. And what status mean? Everybody's going to change their status. I'm going to change my status. What does it mean? Who knows what it means? I know you two know what it means. He had his hand up first, though. What status? Let me see that. No, you can speak it to mine. Go ahead.
Status is you standing in the law?
Just standing in the law? Well, it equates to that. Basically, it does. What's your answer, bro? That's true. So it starts out with status is your relationship to the community. But it says it is not just a mere relationship. It is a legal, lawful one. Wow. So it seems to me the status sets the stage for all matters regarding jurisdiction then, doesn't it? It has to set the stage for all matters regarding jurisdiction, and anything that's legal or lawful has to be set by your status, which is why the first rule in anything is the parties and the status of the parties in law. Is that right? Status of the party comes first, right? Of all parties involved. Who? That's right. Because look, there's some claim with what? A dog? Making a claim against a cat? What? Who are the parties involved? So status is important. So a lot of people, as I said, I'm going to go get my status, my sovereignty through UCC. No, you better have your status relationship to the community straight before you even touch the UCC. You get it? Because you're not gaining it by that. So now we're past all that now because many have found that out. And many are going to or will be finding out, if they haven't already, in short due time, about this birth certificate redemption thing. They're finding that out. That's not the way to it at all. It's just only common. It doesn't make sense. But if you believe that these people are your mother and your father, and that they truly birthed, like a guy saying to me, he says, they got us down on Wall Street. I was like, no, I'm standing right here. I ain't on Wall Street. What the hell? That's a simulation fiction of, something, but it isn't me. It's because they have a bond which proves human trafficking against the same abolition my mother breathed out. Doesn't mean that's me. That's a piece of paper in the drawer. That's like saying the state boundaries is this right here. No, it don't. It's a corporation paper in the drawer. But if you believe it does, then I'll take I'll step over that bound then. Oh, you believe that this is really the state of New York? Okay, good. Then you come across here, we got some rules for you. Because you think that this is what it is. And you believe, yeah, well, what's the laws of your state that you live in? Oh, in your state. You need to be checking and make sure they're not breaking the law. You need to be making sure that they're on the road with commercial tax carrying stuff that might be perishable or whatever like that when your ancestral state. Well, the state of New York is a fiction, corporation. But the people are not claiming who they are, so take it over. And so with that, I wanted to say, like, for instance, people are saying, you know, they think they're studying. I know that the person I'm talking about, I ain't talking about them, I'm talking about whomever, but, like, they'll tell me, I'm studying, and I'm not going to be ever using the signature. It means a dead person and all this kind of stuff like that. I'm going to always do an autograph, and I need to print it, too, because cursive means it's a curse. I'm like, where the hell did you get that from? You better be very careful about who you are learning from, you know, because, I'm giving this as an example, not personal. I'm giving this as an example to you all. I said, be very careful what you're studying that may not apply to you, that European study that's promotional for them. Nothing against them, but they cannot have the same status as you. Do you understand? That's the whole point. So we do a lot of studies and we still have faith in them. And even some of our so-called educated people who then decide that they're going to do these studies, they're going to study, but they're still studying the wrong thing. And so they're like, well, look, we asked you what to study. And the prophet said, and we agree, study yourself. Study yourself. All right, I jumped out of this. Which one do I hit? I can't see that well. Dave, what David? Yeah. Which one do I hit here? And sister said, oh, see, everything is a green folder and that one isn't. You know, like, threw me off right there. All right. So what I did was I'm like, so, you know, not only are they never going to use a signature, they're going to only use an autograph because one means dead and the other da. So I sent them, and I share this with anyone else, right, who's listening and or looking. Freedom. And I, about signatures on the Freedom page. Yes, I got more down. And so what I did was I found it defined. This is going to blow your mind. I trust it did theirs as well. And you know what? Why am I doing that? I had to change. We have so much information on the side just so that everybody can understand how to use it. And sometimes the links break and they just got to let me know. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. That's why. I want this freedom. I don't want this page. So what we do over here, so I went with the Freedom page. And then there's something called About Signature. And I don't know if I have it up here. So let me see. Anybody see it? Definition of signature. What the hell? Stop it. It does work. Sometimes they break because I move stuff around and forget to do the anchor. But, okay. First, before we do that, look at this. Signature manual, meaning a manual. Man, you know, man is man. A manual that you get, like a book with instructions on something, is that. It's a handbook. It's a manual. But anyway, a manual signature, a signature manual. An autograph, a signature. Specifically the official signature of a who? Chief magistrate or the like. To an official document as letters, patent, to give it validity. You see what I'm saying? What are you studying that says something other than that? Because this is out of the law. Webster's Dictionary, Wooden Law Dictionary. All right? Now, what can a signature be? Any mark you want it to be. That's why they had the X. However, to say I'm not doing the signature because it means it's dead, and an auto means it's right now, when if you're putting a scan of your autograph on the card because it's from when you signed it and it goes on, but then you want to fall away from signature, the signature or autograph. So they want to use reference, not signature, but then a manual signature is an autograph. It's a signature of a sovereign. So who's teaching you otherwise? A dead person who's not a sovereign is telling you that in the first place? Because that might apply to them. You see what I'm saying? You have to learn how to have to know opposition and then recognize. So what's happening now, here's the deal. A lot of people who have been getting this information, be it not full, they're going to say like courts and stuff like that or whatever like that, and they're seriously at the first, I'm going to just use the term boo, they fall. They don't stand on the law all the way to the end, so the law doesn't stand on them. They break somewhere and don't even know it. They get emotional somehow. They do things that bring them. So what happens is not all Moors who are saying they're Moors that are making it are really, it's scary. I guess I don't want to use the word scary. It's just that we have to be studied and the law has to come from within. We have to really believe in it. Like I did something, I don't have it on the site. And the reason I don't have it on the site is because, well, not the reason. Well, it's personal, but a lot of the stuff we already did. Like, for instance, and I had another discussion where someone was debating about the post office and the mailing. Why do we have a mailing location? Oh, no, an address on the card. It doesn't say address. It says mailing location. See what I mean? There's a difference. So when we send in there that Moors, you cannot be possessive of an address because it means that it's under a like the county does lot and block to identify. The city does a venue, avenue, 111 Fifth Avenue, or whatever they're going to put on it, on top of what? The longitude and latitude of where you really are on the earthline. But you're not going to send mail to the longitude and latitude, right? So for purposes of sending mail, if you were doing that, then you would utilize an in care of mailing location, which means that it's not an address. When you put care of, it means you're not possessive of it. It means I take mail there. That's all it means. I might not even lay my head there, but that's where I take mail. Yeah. That's what it means. So now, and then people say, well, like the brackets on the zip code, that means that it doesn't exist. I mean, well, why don't you put on the card the code from the procedures manual of the post manual, BMN 122-32, that means zip is exempt. Because when you put brackets around, it means the same thing. Around the zip. And we're not putting any procedure codes on the card, on the rodeo card. That's why. That's procedure codes to say zip is exempt, and we just did the same thing with brackets. So these kind of things. So we're studying these things, and we're excited about studying, and it's all good. What do we study from what position and understanding what things actually are? There's a difference between an address and a mailing location. When you put care of, it means it's not yours anyway, which is sufficient. And if you don't put an address or zip, they ain't mailing it until they go find one anyway, because that's how they operate. Don't mean you got to operate that way. Doesn't mean it's just like you saying I'm tax non-obligated rather than saying you're tax exempt. Don't say you're tax exempt, because if you say you're tax exempt, they're going to find a way to re-exempt you or non-exempt you or put you back, because that means that you once had to pay and you asked for permission to be exempt. So how can you be tax exempt if you know you're non-obligated from the door as a Moor? You can't use that terminology. You cannot. Now, in their files, they might That little button on their register might say tax exempt, but that's not what you say. If you had to fill out any papers, you're not saying tax exempt. Non-obligated. I got this banging writ that I did. I want to share it, and I will one day soon in regards to sales tax. But the only reason that I was asked to substantiate my position of why I'm not non-obligatory through just some corporation is not used to. See, they're not used to you coming like that. They're used to you following like the kid or whatever. But you tax exempt, give me the ST form from the state, or give me the federal ID number. No, neither one of them determines my status in regards to this. They don't. Neither of them apply. You understand? Yeah. Go ahead. Use the mic.
There's a couple of Islam. There's a couple of stores that I've gone to, and I've showed them my identification, and they said they needed a paper, like you said, and it has to have the corporation that I'm a part of, and some kind of other number that is. And I tell them that I'm not a part of a corporation. I'm a national. My identification, and this is the number that you put it in. This is the original number.
Uh-huh.
But they give me a whole bunch of, like, a runaround. They take the tax off anyway.
Yeah.
But they're telling me that I have to be a part of a corporation in order to use tax exempt. And again, I tell them that I'm not tax exempt. And
Boy, I wish I had my writ with me. I'm going to read from it. Listen, I know what you mean, but no, you don't. First of all, you know that. If you write something that's firm with them, they will leave you alone. And if you got to go to their manager, you see, there's different ways to do this. Some companies want you to set. Some companies want you to set it up from their corporate office. Some want you to set it up from right where you are as an individual, and then they might ask for a customer number and use the number on your card. But the AA 52141 of general permanent character, that actually is in some of theirs already. And so they might want that number that you find in the upper left-hand corner just to identify you as a customer there. But I wish I had it with me. I would read it because it clearly, it's like, first of all,
and also
AA 52141 is in the Department of Justice and the Library of Congress. Right. So it may not be in their register until you get there. But it's not going to be the same number that they have on any SP form and or any federal. The federal would make Indians, American Indians, the Federal Reserve, the distinction has already been made. And I use that in my text. Because, see, the distinction between an American, Native American, and a Federal Reserve Indian, we have to stop saying that Indians are Native Americans, because they're not. That is a brand that was placed upon the Native American. And it is Moors. Native Americans are Moors. But most people, when you say Native American, especially our own people, say, "Oh, you mean an Indian?" I know. See what I mean? I'm talking that relation. The Native American is the Moor. The Moor American national is the Native American. Is Aboriginal and Indigenous, just as the definition of American says. It doesn't say Indigenous, it says Aboriginal. It doesn't have to say Indigenous, because if you're Aboriginal, you're automatically Indigenous. But if you're Indigenous, that doesn't mean you're Aboriginal. Yeah. So you have Europeans that are wanting, and others, well, no, Europeans, because that's all there is, Occidental and Oriental. That's all it is. They want to say, well, I'm Indigenous, I was born here. Well, just because I was born in Japan don't make me Japanese. And it doesn't make you an American just because you were born here. So they're indigenous. That's right. Ab means first, coming down from the spirit man to the physical makes you. That's what that means. First man. That's all. So if you're Aboriginal, you're indigenous, but if you're indigenous, you're not Aboriginal. So you got to be careful about the use of indigenous. They are indigenous rights, but Aboriginal, and like I said, if you're Aboriginal, you are indigenous. And as Aboriginal and or indigenous people, you have a right to establish your own identification that must be respected. And so we have to enforce the fact to respect identification because it's already there. As a family, would you get it from my national family? I ask you where you got yours from.
Don't have a family.
That isn't in my national family. Oh, I got that from the website. No, you got it from your national family because we're not a cult.
Yeah, not every time I use my identification to get into places, I say, if I get this from my national government, I can't go to the DMV to get an identification.
That's right, because I'm not a member. All right, the DMV, first and foremost, it's not an identification card. It's a membership card. The DMV, first and foremost, is a corporation. It's an agency, not a government agency, although many think it is. It is not. It's an agency, so anything that it produces from it is going to be from an agency or corporation. It doesn't have your nationality on it, so therefore it cannot be identified. It is not an identification card. Right? It has an expiration date, not an identification. Your identity truly does not expire. And so that's why you'll notice, like the cards you get, there's no expiration. You know, if you have to get another one because you lost it or it's damaged or whatever, fine, but there's no expiration because it's not about making finance off of every 2 years reestablishing something that does not expire. How can you do that? This is just an identification, a allodial American identification, national. That means that, so if the DMV is an agency, a corporation, right, only thing they can issue to is other corporations, period. End of story, that's it, that's all. But because the traveling is the crux and essence of personal liberty, that's the first thing that was attacked, your ability to move to and fro. And it was done in such a manner that, you know, it's gotten so big now that we think we're supposed to have that in order to move to and fro. And that's not true. You have foreign corporations saying this is their homeland and then telling you what to do on it when it's your homeland, not their homeland. Homeland security is a need, always has been. It has always been that for them because there is no Aboriginal place that they can say other than what was ceded to them by the sister Queen Europa and even before this land right here in Europe. So what is your modern European nationality? What is everybody's nationality? Everybody has to confess their own right now. That's it and that's all. But to establish or create a new nation can't happen. It's already done. Did you have your hand up? Can you give him the mic, please? Cut it on the button there somewhere.
Yeah, hello. Okay.
Islam.
Yeah, Islam. Good night, everyone. And, thank you for coming here and have a place to come. But as the brother stated, you know, when you go to different agencies, you give the national ID. And before I ask my questions, I would just ask that answer it in the best quality and in the best way that you can, you know, from your knowledge, so forth. If we're going to an agency and you give me the ID and I say I'm not accepting that. Okay.
You're the agency?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm the agency. You're coming in. You say, okay, you hand me the ID card. Say, well, no, I don't want that. Okay. At that point that I rejected as an agency, what do you do then?
At the point that you were rejected at an agency?
Correct.
All right. Well, first of all, you're giving them the identification because they asked you for identification, correct?
Correct.
And then what I would say is, well, that's the only identification I have. Well, you don't accept what?
Then you say, okay, well, do you have proper state ID as they would ask?
No, I'm not a member of the state.
So
I'm not a member of the state. The state issues. The state. You talking about the New Jersey Corporation or the New York Corporation state? That state?
correct.
Oh, the Union state? No, I'm not a member.
So at that point, then you wouldn't take the benefit or reap the benefit that you would be going to for them to assist you with, basically.
Oh, well, you didn't throw that in. I thought you was trying to tell me how do you deal with that.
Right.
All right, so any tributes that they may have to give you, are you aware that those are for Aboriginal people, that when you go to these agencies, they make you turn into a Negro, colored, black in order to get them?
Yeah.
So, once you know that, you turn that around.
Okay.
All right? They're on your ancestral estate. Those tributes are for you. They got you thinking that it's, in order to get what they got to give you? I don't think so. So you have to handle it differently. Talk to the manager. Know your position. Trust and believe once you know your true position.
Okay.
But if you think, like what you just said,
right.
which is what most people... I know you're giving it as an example.
Right.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that. But if one thinks that way, that, well, the benefit that you had to give me, you just lost. They ain't got jack to give you. They're administering whatever it is.
Correct.
Given to them. Who gives to you?
Okay. So now,
yeah, okay? Get it?
Yes.
All right.
So now, I'm going to get down to the few questions I have in-house. First question is the brother in St. Louis got shut down, RVBey.
Yes.
Okay, I'm watching the news. This is Channel 7, 6
yes.
o'clock, ABC World News.
Yes.
Okay, black man shot down. Okay, show him with the feds, everything.
Yeah, that's intentional. That they did that to see what you as a Moor and we as a Moor as a nation are going to do.
So how do we now reverse them calling us Negro, black, and colored on television if we do in fact have a nationality like anybody else, if they were Asian or any other thing, American?
Did they say that it was a Moor that got shot?
No.
Or they didn't say it?
They didn't say that. They said...
They implied it.
Yeah, they said
right.
black man.
Huh?
They said black man got shot. And
okay, well, that should be...
African American.
That should be corrected, and what should be corrected along with it, or applied along with it, is that right now, Moors, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship should be in effect. That's a violation not against the Constitution, but against the treaty.
Correct.
All right?
So,
all right. That's what should be being enforced now. Check it out. Don't think. Let's kind of piece this together here. Moors started sending in their proclamations that they're Moors. They were referring to the treaty that if you read the Constitution, now if you haven't read the Constitution, you better hurry up and go do it, because you're not going to be able to effectuate jack unless you do, because the supreme law is not the Constitution as much as it is the treaty. And in Article 6 of the Constitution, it says all agreements entered into, prior to this Constitution are still in effect, as it is with the Articles of Confederation, right? So the treaty's in effect. So now, that's right there in the Constitution, Article 6. And it also says in Article 6 that if any law is made by a state that is contrary or contradictory or abrogates, which means violates this Constitution, whatever that is, any rule that the states have made, it's right there. It has no standing. So we need to be enforcing that. So as far as this guy, is them calling him a black guy, they didn't call him a Moor.
right.
They didn't say he was a Bey. I mean, they said he was a Bey. But that fez,
Yeah.
they wear that fez in private too. But they know, so they implied, they said another black man.
Right.
Because they've always called you black man.
Right. So
The fact that we're rising, and it is known in the States. And your question is to what to do about it. Have every single person that thinks they black call themselves who they are,
right.
and not accept being called black. It's simple.
So okay. So the question is, I come in now. You say, oh, you're not Negro, black, and colored. Temple or so, oh well, that it was branded on us in 1865, so forth, and we're Moors, and
yes.
this is a nationality. I say, oh, That don't mean nothing. They just shot brother down over there with the feds on, and they called him black. So, what?
No, that was a test to see whether so-called black people are going to stop calling themselves black. That's all it was. Listen, hold on. They've been shooting down Moors calling themselves black forever.
Right.
They've been shooting down blacks. They're calling themselves blacks, excuse me, for a long time. So what you're saying is now this
how
is
do we get them to specify the Moor part?
Why would they specify the Moor part? They don't want. Hold on a moment. They don't want to specify the Moor part. Let me tell you why. Because if you knew that you were Moor and you began being who you are, they are done. So what they did was, okay, all you Moors that are rising, we're going to kill one with it and show you a picture with a fez. It's just a diversion to try to see what you're going to do. Are you going to continue to rise? Are you going to say, oh, well, they've been killing black people? Because I said it. I said, well, you ain't getting no. Well, I said this, not that. Let me clear myself. I said to get the remedy, the law remedy, it does not exist as a black person. That's what I said and still say. But to get the law remedy, you must declare your status, your nationality. You have to, so that you're not in that group. All right? That still remains. So what they're saying is to scare those who might be scared of rising, we're going to shoot you with your fez and show a picture with your fez on, too. Hey, they got fezes on, they wear them in secret. What's that mean? Nothing. What it ought to mean is that we recognize they're playing games and trying to scare those who may be rising. Because whether you got the fez on or not, you're still a Moor. And whether you wear the fez and they got a picture of you with it on, they went and found the picture of this guy with a fez and made sure it got put out there so that these other people who might be coming up under you would what? Be scared. You got to understand the tactics. Nobody has the power to change it. It's that nature. So what we do is we do a lot of being concerned about what they're doing. They're falling. Hello, they're falling. That's what they're doing. And so everything is going to be in the hands of Moors anyway. And the only way to shuffle yourself out from the avalanche of lies that are going to be heaped upon you daily is through the newspapers, media. And since you don't control the media on what's shown to you on the television, we have no other choice but to do it through other social medias that sometimes they interrupt. We're having technical difficulties. Or we don't have the means to, like, for instance, the newspaper, the national newspaper that should be for Moors, for instance, it's called the Moorish Guide, newspaper that actually existed. You know how it was to remain in existence and probably be grown as big as you, I don't know what by now? Every temple was to have one. Every temple's newspaper was to be called the Moorish Guide, and they were to report things that were going on in their community. This was the institution that was set up so that these things could be done within the institution. And remember, an institution does not create the cause. The cause creates the institution. So they're not about the cause of what the institution was created for, so shall the institution fall. Let us not be surprised that the institution of MSTFA has fallen because they're not about what the cause was that established it in the first place. So they need to come up with some other institution, of which they did, and you need to be careful that you're not entering into an MSTFA, incorporated under the guise of a state that's incorporated, because they already did that. They believe today that they are members of the United States of America, citizens. Those are the ones. That's the new institution that came out from under with a new cause. And it's not the cause of what was established because, truthfully, the newspaper, everyone must have a school. The stuff we're talking about now, the stuff you're studying, and now the modern European knows who are trying to, not all of them, some Europeans are helping, why aren't you? That's true. That are trying to divert you. They're trying to go into your studies now and tell you some crazy stuff because you're trying to study. We need the microphone. Do we have a second microphone or just one? Oh, here's the other one.
So there's a temple that's unincorporated?
I don't even know if there's one that exists anymore, brother, that's unincorporated. I can't even tell you, bro. I can't even tell you whether there's one. Well, we deal with Canaan land, but yeah, Canaan land, but that's America. That's North America, continent. But as far as one that's not, I don't know. Where are they? Like why? Like I've been here doing this 9 years, and I would welcome any temple to and have. But then what happens is, they got a different agenda, and it doesn't fit with, our agenda, and then it doesn't fit with the people. That's a club. That's a different institution with a different purpose. And it came up as the Incorporated. You have anything you want to add to that? I see you pulling out some stuff. I mean, even until, what, you have a question before you do that. All right, let me look at that one, Mother. All right, go ahead. Talk into that mic there.
The thing with me is this. I'm tired of corporation. I'm fed up with corporation. They've stole so much from me. I'm trying to reclaim everything and more.
You trying to do what?
I want to claim everything and more what they took from me.
All right.
And I want to feel like going after corporate and just throw them in jail, basically, because I'm fed up. Because the bank steals from me, my school district steals from my friends. Everybody would just rob me left and right, and I want to go after this. And my girlfriend introduced me into contract law. I was studying business management and administration law, but when she showed me about contract law, I'm like, okay, this really blows me out of the water.
Yeah, it does. It really does, because like a lot of things, like we know, because our people will say, well, we have a contract. They used to call it like birth certificate of contract. That's not a contract. If you know contract law, you know that's not a contract. It's not a contract, never was. No, but we will call it that. You know what I mean? So without, like, how to live within contracts is another, on the site you can get that as a free on the open reading page, and that will help a lot too on understanding. But now, how you feel. It feels good to be, look, what felt good to me was the first time I ain't had to say that. That's what felt good. I was like, now that makes you feel like a freedom. Because I watched this movie called Black Nativity. I know, so-called Black Nativity. I was crying at the end of it. For all those who watched that, they said you was crying too. It was a great movie. And he went into the church, but they did something a little different than Nativity, which was Christmas. They did this thing where they showed, like over in Egypt with Yahshua, they called Jesus, was being born, and there was no place for him to be born, so he had to be born in a manger. Now, my son, who's really on the codes of astrology, he was explaining to me that the manger is the goat, is Capricorn. It's all coded. All of it is coded. December 25th in Capricorn. But anyway, and also etymologically, the manger is the solar plexus. It was born of a woman. So now, and it said, and I said, oh, shoot, what did I say? I forgot what they said. I think it was the Romans said, we don't have no money, so we're going to have to tax you. And that's when taxes came in. You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't want them. They don't have any money, so they're going to have to tax you, people. And this is what they showed. I mean, there's some stuff that's, you got to watch I, Frankenstein, too. Got to get I, Frankenstein. Got to. How many have seen it? Who's back there? Yes. Frankenstein? Truthfully, Frankenstein, when you watch it, take notes because it is noteworthy. So maybe what I ought to do is tell you to watch it and you come tell me what you thought of it. Because I wrote my notes down. It's so impacting. It's like, unbelievable. I mean, I can bring my notes in so I can make it worthy of it, but we all bring our notes in on it. Watch it. Come back next week and tell me what you think. And take notes on it because it's really, whoa, man. I mean, it's everything that we talk about making in the laboratory. It's there. Jacobian experiment. And then it got a little deeper because it was talking about the daughter. See, I know that even though they're showing us Europeans, they're not. But the woman said, "Oh, by the way, Frankenstein." All right, just to give you one. By the way, Frankenstein, your maker Frankenstein. That was his name that made you. He never gave you a name. No, he didn't. Well, I tell you what I'm going to do, Frankenstein. Your name is Adam.
Wow.
Yeah, see what I mean? See what I mean? And the other thing she said, now man knows that people can be made, made not from God, but at the hand. Oh, this is dangerous now. It's in there. But you got the beginning of the movie. Take the pen and pencil, and you write what you think is noteworthy. It was just mind-blowing. It just really was. Then the whole thing is about, like I said, angels and demons. That's all this is about. The blue light ascends up if you die, when you pass for them, when they were gargoyles come off the building. All right, they were good. Actually, they were the good people.
They are the divine beings.
They were the divine beings guarding. So you see them on all these old buildings, right? So now when they die, when the good people die, the blue light ascends up. But when bad people die, the fire ascends down. So then you're looking at the movie and all you're seeing is blue lights and red lights and you know what I mean? Right? Like that's like the visual of it is like, wow. So clearly you know what happened. Like they're showing you the distinction of who won, who lost, how many went up, how many went down. Because good people don't die, is what it was saying. They just ascend into the blue light. Now, the whole thing was the bad people that went down to the pits of hell in the fire, right? They said, the hell with that, I want to live again. So whatever Frankenstein did to make you come to life, we want that secret. That's really it. Frankenstein did not have a soul because he was made from bits, pieces, and parts. And then when the author of them, the doctor, Darwin or Dr. Monroe, those who became successful, but when that's another movie to watch, but when he wanted to throw them away and said, the heck with it, found them up in bandages, threw them in the river, thought it was dust, right? And he didn't. He came up out of there. And the first thing he wanted to do was get revenge because he had some humans with him and he had some animal with him. And so we were just talking about this today, here is that balance between, the good and the bad, getting revenge and saying vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Between what you want, your desires, and your needs. You know what I mean? So that was that polarity. I call it the Taurus Scorpio polarity, because you're only going to have that existing when you're on the temporal, which is his earth sign, and the physical. So that's what Frankenstein was kind of about, but it was so many other notes to it that how about in 2 weeks from now everybody comes back with their notes from Frankenstein and do that, because one of the things that I wanted to do was, first of all, I would discuss it if I had my notes, and because each thing that is said is powerful in terms of what was said. Did you have a comment, sir? Yes, no, this is the new Frankenstein. Frankenstein. Well, it's the year maybe 2014, 2013? 2014. 14. And we're in 15 now. But see, this is the thing. All of these things are always affirmed around us, but it wouldn't mean anything if you're not in a certain place to study. And all of it is designed to affirm what you heard, or what you think, or what you feel, or what you think you know. Okay, now this is what. The reason I'm doing this is because we talked about the institutions and everything, including the Great Seal Institution. I got to tell you, man, I had the pleasure, if you will, of meeting some old fogey Great Seals. I should feel. I take that back. Some elders who were members of the Great Seal, over the years. In fact, you're one of them, but you're a good guy. No, you're a good exemplary of that. And some of those associations fell into clubism as well, correct? And the Great Seal, let's make this clear. The Great Seal is not, the Great Seal is the people. The seal itself is the pyramid. That's the Great Seal of the Moorish Nation. So the Great Seal Moorish Association of Moorish Affairs is an institution established, or a club, am I saying it right? With members who are members of the Great Seal. Don't get it twisted. Because Prophet Noble Drew Ali made it clear so that you wouldn't get trapped, that he's taking the covers off of any secret organization. So this is no secret. Matter of fact, he exposed what it is in his work. He didn't, take them off. He didn't take them off and then whisper to the left or the right. He actually gave it to you. Bam, there it is. I've exposed it. Can you get it? It's right there. Bam, there it is. Yes.
When I gave you that
Brother,
Jamaica, right?
yes. Wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah.
Where's the other microphone? Oh, you have it? What over here has it?
Islam.
All right, he has a camera.
This brother from Jamaica, and he came over here and came into the Great Seal, but they tried to deport him out of here.
Yes.
Because he's from Jamaica.
All right.
So Brother Rahman told him that he should declare his nationality, and that's what he did. And he declared his nationality to the Jamaica, and that was it. And
they left him alone.
And he said no.
Because Jamaica is a corporate over top of the, that's where they are, West, in terms of the Aboriginals. South America, Central America, North America, and the adjoining islands. Mm-hmm. Trinidad, Jamaica, Haiti, or the Haitians who come into America, they're already in and are Americans.
That's what he wrote there.
So this is from, I'm glad to get this because...
You can have that.
Oh, thank you, because there's someone who...
They tried to deport him out, but they couldn't after he declared his nationality. When he declared his nationality, what Rahman told him to do, that's what he did.
Wow. After he declared his it was a brother who was here. This is back in 1990, as a matter of fact, who was here from so-called Jamaica. Came over here from Jamaica with a green card. And they were trying to deport him back to Jamaica. And
he came to the Great Seal.
Rami, who was the emir of the Great Seal at that time, peace and blessings be upon him because he did pass form a couple of years ago. He passed form, but he was the head of the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs in this area.
Out in Jamaica, Queens.
In Jamaica, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia at the time. So he said, declare your nationality to the guy who said he was Jamaican and they're trying to deport him. And and then they can't deport you because you're going to tell them, look, I'm an American. What you talking about? This is my ancestral state, North, South, Central, and the adjoining island. And so that's what the so-called Jamaican brethren did, and they couldn't deport him. And so this is the cover letter here. It says, this is to certify and acknowledge that Brother... I don't need to say it.
You got a long name.
No, it's not that I wouldn't say it. I don't know if I should. This brother, I'm mentioning his appellation on the F.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay, this is to certify and acknowledge that Brother Maji Khalif Hashimil, who has declared himself a free Moorish American national with Moroccan descent under the Moroccan Treaty of 1787, has filed his credentials with this consulate. Now, Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs is a consulate office. Moorish Science Temple of America is supposed to be a consulate office also. Consul. It's not there anymore. He's gone. The Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs has established an office as consul. You remember Article 3, yes? You have a right to consul, not counsel, not lawyer, not attorney, consul. So we set up a consulate office. So now we should be doing that everywhere.
Yeah.
We ought to be doing that everywhere. The Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs set up an operating office, even if it's not physical. This is consul. as well. Did you want to read this whole thing? All right, so this is what he said. Our brother Naji Khalif Hashim Il being duly affirmed. Now this is this is called an affidavit declaration of nationality and constitutional immunity. It says being duly affirmed, deposed, and says I stand affirm squarely on constitutional law. Boys, constitutional law. Boys, constitutional law. Stand firmly on it. That I am a free Moorish American national of Moroccan descent, being Aboriginal by birth and inheritance, deriving my powers and authority from the Moorish flag, Great Seal, and the free Moorish American Zodiac Constitution, and I give my respect to the continental United States flag and the Moroccan Treaty of 1787. Let me start right here. Hillary Clinton got up and said the first nation to recognize us is Morocco. She was supposed to be going to Morocco. Suddenly she hit her head. She never made it over there. And, no, she did. It's almost like Harlem. Y'all didn't know that Harlem is a woman. Ooh, was I supposed to say that? Yeah, but it is true. Got hit in the head, buried in the shallow grave. So she got hit in the head, hurt her head, never got there, and then she's no longer the Secretary of State. She never made it. Pay attention. Prophet said pay attention. It's news and history. But if we ever need to come together more on these simple issues that we are who we are, the Aboriginal indigenous, it would be now. Because when Obama goes, I don't care what he has or has not done, none of that crap matters to you anyway. But he has said some things to you. He has done some things. Page 107 in the healthcare thing, everybody, I gotta pay for healthcare. No, you don't. Not if you claim your what? Your nationality and your religion. You don't. Oh, but you don't want to reclaim your religion. Oh, well, it goes hand in hand. And until you do, you'll be paying that stuff because you are, your nationality and your religion go together, because you are a member/citizen of the corporation, therefore must go by the bylaws, and they say that you need to have health care. And if you don't, we're going to fine you for not having it. Because that's a dumb crap, right? But it's the truth. I don't know what to do. They said I got to pay health care. Not if you read page 107 and declare your religion. Because anything that has to do with insurance is really against your religion because it's gambling. It's always been ways out. Not ways out, ways in. It is what it is. We just won't be who we are and stand on that position. And so when they tell you, well, you can't do that, you got to have health care. No, it's my religion. Well, what's your religion say? Don't even tell them in your business. Because when they find out what you said about what your religion says you can't do, then they go back to the meeting room, Moors, and they, okay, yeah, they don't. Well, let's go try to convince her that she should do this and have this baby anyway under the theory, no matter what your religion say. You know what I mean? Like that. We're going to, somebody else was in here last week, and they said that was their religion too, but let me tell you what they did. You see? Don't tell them jack. None of their business. We run our mouth too much. Why? Because we think they are an authority. Just because they said X, Y, and Z, but they're not, are they, said? If you put your foot down and do the thing, you find out some different result, don't you? But unless you don't, but until you do, you'll never know. So you can't ask somebody because man does not know by being told. You got to do that yourself when you're ready. But if you're not ready, hurry up and get ready. Because it's here, not coming, but here. And back to what I'm thinking is that one of the reasons why they're slicing and dicing like that is because too many come that aren't ready and about passion. Yes, I didn't forget about you, Mom. About passion, emotion, feeling. That's what they work off of. Don't let them know how you feel. Don't let them know. Stick to the law and hold them to it too. Because when we work off of our anger, I'm angry at this. Oh my God, I can't believe they did this to us. I'm angry and I'm passionate. Now, passion we can have, but we got to put a circle around our passion and square up our conduct because they look for you to have a weakness in a chink in your armor. They smell like animals smell blood. the same way, they smell that they can probably break you because you want to break them. You want to, like you said, I'm so angry, I just want to snatch them from over that counter and beat their behind because that's what a mother will feel like. But we're going to have to use some other strategies because remember, those are our daughters. The Europeans they're the European daughters trying to take your place. Because they know that, the daughters of the American Revolution, because they know they could never, that they don't have the same status you have. What they really want is what we have, not the sons. They can easily break the sons. They already know that.
Patriarch.
Yeah, patriarchally, they already done that. But through us, it was allowed to happen. We should have been teaching our own better on the door, on the first schoolroom, from right here. Our women ought to have been doing that because the child's going to cleave to the mother until such time for the father to teach them the trade. It's your first time. I don't feel like you should. I feel like you've been here before. But we have been here before because we're all energy connected. So that's great. Welcome. At any rate, put a circle around the passion, square the conduct, because that's what they want. They want to see the emotion, the anger, so that they can pounce on that. That's what they work off of. So you got to be, speaking in an intelligent tone as Prophet Noble Ali said, right? And you have to be as wise as a serpent. No, wise, what is it? And gentle as a dove. And then in your eye, windows of the soul, mirrors of the soul, actually. They will get where you're coming from. Less that. Sometimes you can just let what you wrote be what you stand on. Yeah. Do you have children? Okay, I knew you did. Because this was all your energy is, and I could just tell. I don't know if I'm reading, but because you're ready to jump on that full-heartedly. You don't have any children that you have to be concerned about because, see, here's the thing. This is why mothers must start teaching at a young age. When you start to get this information and you start to do what you're supposed to do, but you got children in your house that are not doing it, through the children that will get to you. But it doesn't mean that the children realize that they're selling you out or that they're doing the wrong thing. They just don't know, just like you didn't know. You just found out yesterday. Well, you didn't teach them. They don't know either. And so this is what happens, and this is why we have to be very careful about the energies and the people that are around us because they will not meaning to. So you're in a prime position is what you're saying to go forth for what has to be done, and you just need to study the law, the Constitution, and also yourself. All right. So, shall I finish reading there? All right. So now I do declare the bearer of the name Bey and Ale are free sovereign Moorish nationals of the continent of the United States. Continental, meaning all the continents. We think in state or county. State is, municipalities are nothing but Roman venues. We thinking that. We're thinking too small. We're keeping ourselves under that yoke instead of knowing that it's the continent. That's what the continent, we didn't put the flag up. But that's what the continental flag with the tall cedars. It's the treaty flag also because it's from continent to continent. We gave permission for them to even sail on the 7 seas. So when people talk about, they're doing maritime law, no, they just tried to flip the script on you. Put it up. Yes, the Star-Spangled Banner is not a flag. It represents their given right to do commerce in your land. Talking to the speaker.
It's a merchant and a trading banner of commerce and Amexem commerce for them to do trade in this land.
For them to do trade in this land, and they got you thinking that in order for you to do anything, you got to come up under that banner. then we understand.
The difference between a flag and a banner. A flag represents a nation of people with a geographical boundary, with the Constitution, and with a body of law that govern the people. We are the people.
That's right.
They had to fly the Moorish flag
coming out of them now. But a banner, it's just a banner.
Yeah.
A corporation, go ahead.
They had to fly the Moorish flag in order to fly that banner.
Yes.
Two commas on it, and in the first place.
Yes.
Without it.
Yes. And we were saying to them, look, let them pass through the ports, right? As long as they have this banner, right? And now they got you talking about you need a passport in order to go somewhere. When that's for shit. They needed a passport. That banner was their passport. But that banner is not a flag. It's not. Never was. That's why the song says Star Spangled Banner. Somebody has their hand up down there. Use the microphone, please, bro. Thank you.
U.S. citizens, on their nationality on the passport, it says United States of America.
That's not a nationality.
And a lot of people have that in their passport. And they don't even know.
I know. It says U.S. What is U.S.? You know, when did the United States of America become a nationality? It's not. So now they're sailing under that or whatever, using that, and the day's going to come where, boom, it's going to be a problem. Because everybody must confess their own. You have your hand up?
Yeah.
All right.
How do you feel about the world passport? I've had more tell me they've gotten a world passport.
Okay, I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. Go on the site when you get home tonight, and on the front page, it says that it is for stateless people. That's how I feel about it. It's right there on the front page. Is it on?
All right. People say that we have, Moorish government, Moorish society. That this is our government. They're holding the seats and so forth. Okay, but where is the physical government? Basically, like China has Chinatown. Jews have their school buses, their schools.
All right.
Okay, there.
All right.
So could you expound on that?
All right, let me go with what you're saying. You're saying that they're saying that this is our government and they're holding the seats. They are not holding the seats of our government. That's number one. They are not. Because what they're doing is not our government. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay. They're not holding the seats of our government. Now, a lot of people say, where's our government? Where, like you said, where's the location? Where's the physical place? Government is the people.
No, set up society. Like you have the Amish there in Pennsylvania, and then
that's because they decided to occupy. That's because they
Rastafarians have RVBey, so
because they decided to occupy that fixed territory of land.
Correct.
That's why. That's why they're there, and it's nothing more, nothing less. And we are occupying a lot of Bronx, ain't we? So if we would say that we're Moors, suddenly it should be Moortown. I'm just giving it an example. If we were to be Moors occupying Bronx territory, what we call Bronx territory, and call it something else, that would be it, wouldn't it? But we already named it what it is. You see what I'm saying? So the question that he's asking is understandable. Well, the Amish are at the Amish because they decided to occupy that fixed territory of land and do their culture and what they do right there because it's a state of mind. And so the Moors, when you talk about the government, is the people, they're all up in the Bronx, but they ain't saying they Moors. And if they were saying, they were Moors, it might be called something else.
Yeah, I was asking.
I need you to get that.
I understand that part.
Yeah, I know. But it is a baptism, an exorcism that you're going through. I went through it. Everybody else did. Because what I just gave you is true facts. Anything else is what it appears to be. This ain't Amish town.
Right.
This ain't Amish ancestral estate.
Correct.
But they're occupying a fixed territory on this estate, are they not?
Correct.
Well, Europeans are occupying a fixed territory on your estate, too. But because you didn't give a damn about what it's going to be called, or a damn about the government, or a damn about governing, they took it and did what they wanted to do. It's just as simple. It's not even more complicated than that. But it's still your claim. It's your ancestral state. It is not theirs. Do you understand that?
Of course. How do we look forward into doing that and delegating with governments officially and so forth?
First, you got to admit that we're Moors.
All right. So.
I got you on that. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, can I ask the in-house question that I
Sure.
Okay. Who officially runs this program here on Wednesdays?
Are you suggesting that question?
Yes. I don't know, so I'm asking a question.
Why do you need to know? And then I'll answer it.
What do I need to know?
Why do you feel you need to know?
Why do I feel I need to know?
Yeah, why are you asking?
Just coming in a place, okay, they're asking for a donation at the door.
Yeah, because it's sufficient. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So if I give $3 and I say that's all I have, you still demanding 10.
And I said what?
If you still demand 10 after I have 3, after you ask for a donation, so I'm asking, is it a donation or is it a demand? This is why I'm asking the question. Okay, I understand you have to pay for it.
Well, that's what it's for. The guy downstairs wants us to pay when we leave here. And believe me, what he wants us to pay is a lot more than what I would like to pay, and I ain't paying it. You are.
So what I'm asking is,
to be here.
You do have $3. You do give that. And that's what
no, it's not a donation then. It's a donation because we can't say it's a contribution more than a donation. Okay. So let's say a contribution. And let me explain to you that certain terminologies put you in certain jurisdictions. Like if someone says, I want to send you a donation, I would tell them, don't send me a donation. Because I'm not an organization or a corporation or a nonprofit. But you can send a contribution because you're contributing to what's going down.
Sure.
So when you walk through that door, you're coming here, and what you're looking at is not some strangers, but your brethren. All right? So you want to look at financial records here? Is that what you want to do?
No. I'm just asking because.
Okay, do you know what the name of this class is, brother? Do you know?
No, that's what I'm asking the question.
Do you know how long it's been here?
No.
9 years completing on September 9th.
What's the name of the
Moorish Heritage and History School.
Okay. So
from its inception.
Okay.
9 years ago.
So you said 9 years ago. So I get back to the first question. Okay. Who's that?
Why? There's no head.
You just said that. Hold on.
Why do you wouldn't answer my question? Why do you need to know?
I just told you why I needed to know because
why?
You're demanding me at the door.
Then don't come.
Listen, you just asked me to tell you why. I told you why. You still ain't answered.
So, all right. So let me ask you a question. If I told you why, and your reason is because you're being, this is crazy. This is a stupid conversation that we President Moore have, isn't it? If they're not, how do y'all feel about this conversation? It's a dumb question. What you need to do, if you don't want to contribute to pay this,
that's not what I'm
saying. Listen to me, brother. Let me finish.
I didn't say that. I said it should.
Maybe the person who runs this wants to know why you need to know.
Okay. And I said if I don't have a full 10.
Oh, you want to talk to someone that might help you to not have to pay the full thing. Is that what you're asking for?
All right. I'll pass the mic on.
Wait a minute. You want to talk to someone that might assist when you may not have what you need, yes or no?
Correct.
Okay, well, then you know what? That's a question that you shouldn't put on this floor tonight. That's a question that should have been behind the table because we got the whole nation listening to you talking about the fact that you might not have a contribution to the class space that's heading that daggone minute.
And if you ask for a donation, I ask if it's a demand or a donation. If I am donating, if I'm donating something.
Don't take it from them. You are selfish to the rest of the world that's listening to this show tonight for you to talk about that. That's what we're saying to you, brethren.
Okay.
That's what we're saying. Then they just told me, why would you waste our time with that? Why? Why would you waste our time about your possible financial situation that might not be able to meet the door? Why would you do that? No, you're done. Oh, you wasted 10 minutes on some bull crap. Huh? Hold on, I can't hear everybody talking to me at one time. What did you say, brother, back there? You daggone right. I thought he had some serious stuff going on. Oh, my goodness. Islam. It's good to see you, brother. All right. It's been a while. You all right? All is well. All right. So moving right ahead. That was selfish. Moving right ahead. Moving along with what we was talking about that dealt with the whole family. And, I always like when things happen because it shows living proof of where we're at and the things that we do, although everybody is where they are. You understand? And so we're talking about, like his question, where's government? We're government. The people are government. The Amish are in Amish and they're doing their thing. No, the Amish are occupying your ancestral state, a fixed territory, doing their culture. If Moors are all over the place if they were doing the same thing. Now here's the thing. All of the appellations of the land here was already named by Moors. Really? But what happened was it got incorporated by someone else. And you fell into that incorporation. Example. Tennessee means bending river. That's Algonquian tongue. That's our tongue. Tennessee. But it was incorporated, you get me, as state of Tennessee or Tennessee State. Now, Tennessee State is the republic talked of in the Constitution. But state of Tennessee is absolutely a corporation. It's a fiction. So, Tennessee, the word, means Ohio means beautiful. But Ohio Incorporated, or state of Ohio, that's something different. So we'll throw the baby out with the bathwater because of what we don't know. Flowers. Florida is land of flowers. That's from your tongue, not from theirs. All they could do is incorporate these things and fool you into thinking that you are a citizen member of the city of, or the state of Tennessee. Then you go look up and see, well, what is that? It's an incorporation. There's no way I could be that. And this is why the United States of America, you cannot be a citizen of the United States of America. This is very vital. Very vital. Article, like we said, 13th Amendment, right? A lot of people talk about 13th Amendment. It tells you in there 20 sections, right? Article 12, you can't be a member of the United States of America because you established it for foreigners. That's why the Constitution says we the people of the United States do ordain this for who? The United States of America. Two separate things. You cannot be that citizen. And as long as we keep being that citizen, we're giving numbers to that. And so now the fight goes on. Because if you're gonna be a member of my club, my corporation, you're gonna follow my rules and bylaws. And that's what it is. It's the state of with their rules and bylaws. And if you don't know the difference, that's on you. You keep wanting to come over here where I am. Just like I said, we keep talking about we're Democrats when that isn't even, this is a Republic. Not that any of that matters. Like the brother said, well, they're sitting in the seats of our government. No, they're not. They're sitting in the seats of our government. You're sitting in the seats of your government. You just ain't doing nothing. They're sitting in their stuff, which is on your land, occupying your operating upon your land. That's the fact, and that can't be changed. That's what the treaty is all about. That's what the Constitution is all about. And that's why Prophet Noble Drew Ali says, enforce the Constitution for the United States of America, because that's what it's for. If not, you will be molested by who? Other citizens. What other citizens? What other citizens? He said other citizens, which is the distinguishment between you, right? enforce the Constitution, or you will, so that you will not be molested by these other citizens. Let's identify who they are. Right. They're not Americans. They're not Americans because American citizenship and United States of American citizenship are two different things. Clearly. First line of the Constitution. So the Prophet Noah says we are American to follow the American national. You said you are national. Come in at you about your what? Nationality and your birthright. Not about your corporation or the state or the this, which following the Constitution, they have to follow under those rules as well, but they're not. And you don't know the difference because you think you are a member of that. So you put your people right back into slavery. Islam, you have the microphone right here. Oh, he did. All right. Cool. Islam.
Just to enforce what you were saying, this is from the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, Article 21.
Yes.
It says, if any citizen of the United States should kill or wound a Moor, or on the contrary, if a Moor shall kill or wound any citizen of the United States, the law of the country shall take place.
All right. So now, the law of the country says, okay. So clearly, there's two different things going on here. Now, when they killed the brother and they put the picture and they called him black and he's down on the feds, it's like, oh, you Moors, especially all these temples and grand chiefs, y'all. What if they were operating as the institution with the cause that Prophet Noble Drew Ali left? Then so. But if they have infiltrated themselves and instituted another mission cause incorporated by a state, then they can't, because they will be held to the bylaws of the state corporation that they incorporated under. Do you understand that? And until and unless they dissolve that, they can't. Not as they can, because that's just like even with churches. They have churches that give donations. Churches that they let them be non-tax, and they have a donation plate that you give. Now the corporations are asking for them to tally up what's going in that quote-unquote donation plate. And they tell preachers, oh, you're going to take home what's in it. You know, every Sunday you get the plate, and every Sunday the deaconess gets the plate, you know what I mean, special affair or whatever like that. They now are asking, they want to know that too, because they're under their guise of them, you know, under them. So we have to really get and understand that. Now, all right, authority, Moorish flag resale, and the free Moorish Americans of their Constitution, and give my respect to the continental United States flag and the Moroccan Treaty of 1787. And so now that's another thing. A lot of people thought a while back that they were going to go be Moroccan Americans or citizens over there in the east, in Morocco. Well, that wasn't even established in 1797. That's the Kingdom of Morocco. So now what did they do? They took a bunch of Moors trying to rise to their consciousness and diverted them to somewhere else. Wherever you go, just don't claim this ancestral state that is yours. Don't do that. Go back to Africa, go Morocco in the east. Yeah, that's the kingdom. Do any and all of that. Just don't claim your ancestral states for here to keep them from claiming. And we just keep following. Just keep following. That's what that was about. Yeah. So it was a deterrent. So that's why it's like, you better hurry up. We better hurry up and get it all straight. You know what I mean? Because those are just clubs, associations, what's the other word? The one on the Morocco one where they were being citizens, it was a chamber of commerce that was established that got everybody to go, what the heck? I got to do to nationality. Nothing. But people were sitting here thinking it did when it did not. So the other thing is, I do hereby, declare the bearer of the name Bey or Il and or sovereign Moorish nationals of the continental United States having first and all rights of government over the subjects of the Moorish Americans. Having first and all rights of government over its subjects to the Moorish Americans. That's another thing. People think that if you say that you're a Moorish American, you're a subject. No, you're not. You're subjected to your government. But the subjects are actually the Europeans who are here. And if you read out of Expatriation, page 525, it says, it's so basic, I'm going to get a T-shirt, it's so joy, you're a mom. And then put subject, question mark. Because if you don't show that you naturalize somewhere else, it's right in there, then you are automatically a subject of the Moorish nation because you're standing in the Moorish nation. I don't care what you do. So you can't show that you naturalize with someone else. You know, you got your brethren of Moors trying to naturalize you under some other stuff into the United States of America because that's what naturalize is. So they're working to naturalize you into some other thing, and you're on your ancestral estate. You see what I'm saying? That's what they're doing. But that's not their fault. That's your fault because you never looked up what it was. You never bothered to look. Like all of the things you was talking about, Mother, it's like we agreed and consented, unknowing consent to all of it. And no one has mercy for that because the ignorance of the law is no excuse, and it works both ways. And so this is why we're in this special place. But we can rise to it, you know, because this is just mundane. This is temporal stuff. You know what I mean? We try to get to rise to a higher consciousness in ourselves, and we can't even get past this. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying we can't get past it. We need to get past this in order to even do so. So the joy that you're feeling is there. It's within. It's that light within. But you know what I was reading? Not going to get to it, but that wonderful piece you found on the Essene of the, what's it called? The Essene what? Is that what it's called? Oh, I put the wrong thing on. I wanted to read it, but it didn't have numbers. Essene Tree of Life, which is something that some of you may have already found because obviously you could find it if you search. And it's like stuff that has been hidden in the Vatican. Look at all the stuff hidden in the Vatican. And when you read it, it's all about honoring your mother. But then as soon as we say honor your mother, who's the first person to teach you, everybody gets all upset. But it says if you don't follow your mother's ways, you will not find the kingdom of heaven within. Huh? It's the Essene Gospel of Peace. Right, thank you. Okay, no, that's the diagram. Now, I was going to go over the diagram on astrology on it, and I was going to hit it because, girl, let me tell you, I was reading that, and I'm going to tell you something. Matter of fact, I'm going to just hit that for a second so I can show people what polarities really are. But, and the prayer, and the so-called Lord's Prayer. I mean, what people have called the Lord's Prayer. You know, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. How that is effective into the astrology on that thing there. But let me just read this. I might throw that diagram up. Is David back there? Well, he got a few minutes. I'm not going to do it right now. What is the time frame right now? Maybe I'll just show it and we can talk about it next week. I'll show it. I'll just throw it up, and that's it. And so, all right, here we go. This is just, I was just reading. Okay, here we go. I do declare, okay, now we go to, over its subjects of Moorish Americans, the Basanils are retaining all substantive rights and immunities of nationals to whom it may concern. The intent of this affirmation is to notify the Jamaican diplomat and consular office of the current status and biographic information in pursuant to Article 1, Moorish American Great Seal Zodiac Constitution, Article 2, Moorish American Great Seal Zodiac Constitution, birthrights of the Moorish Americans, the Basanil. Are there two different Zodiac Constitutions? Someone said to me that there was. Yeah, okay. Great Seal. Okay, I got you. All right. That might be what they're talking about then, and they don't know that because I'm like, what are you talking about? All right. The resolution number 75, which that is out of Philadelphia, just one of the resolutions showing the acknowledging these meals. But see, you can never, ever be pursuant to any of this stuff. Never be pursuant to it. It is an affirmation of who you are, but it is not, like if it didn't exist, if the rights of indigenous people didn't exist, if the Declaration of Human Rights didn't exist, if any of that never exists, it doesn't change the fact that you are who you are, and those are the things that are bestowed upon you. You get me? Whether they ever wrote them or not. So you're not pursuant to it. It's affirming. like when I used the one thing I said, as affirmed by Executive Order, Clinton's Executive Order on the Implementation of Human Rights, paragraph 5C, or whatever it was, where it shows where he admitted in his writing the distinction between a Native American and a federally reserved Indian. He has it right there in the sentence. So there's a difference in what we talked about earlier. So I'll say as affirmed by, but not pursuant to. Because if he never said it, then what do I have to stand on? I can't stand on something written when I am manifestation of law. You and I are all manifestation of law, all law manifested in the flesh, and it doesn't need to be written because it is. We are living life proof of the law. So therefore, now we had to write it for some people. When we went into that thing in there, I would read it at the movie Island of Dr. Moreau and such like that. But we are supposed to be living the law, existing. That's it. So it's not pursuant to anything that's written, really, but it's affirmed by that which is recorded and written. Affirmed by, like, for instance, we talk about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. What's that got to do with anything you're thinking in your mind? What? Well, it's attached to Article 6. All treaties and agreements entered into prior to are still valid. And that's one of them. You know, so it's not pursuant to, but there's your affirmation and proof of. And then, like I said, you get, someone who's truthful, who's, okay, we were talking about the Black Lives Matter thing, and like I told you, they just killed the brother, and he's got a Moor with a fezzle. See, that's to show where we are, because the brother that they killed that didn't have a fezzle was a Moor. And the brothers they've been killing that didn't have fezzle were Moors. And if we don't see it that way, we are still remaining divided in who we are. And that's what the test was about. Because truthfully, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship is in effect. And truthfully, so like, for instance, I don't know the brother. But let's talk about our problem, our situation. You can go and you can say, well, look, we like all the people that they've shot down. You're not going to get remedy being black. Well, you're going to get remedy being a Bay, a national? Yeah, they just shot a national, you know what I'm saying? But we would say you're not going to get remedy being a black person because there's no lawful position or lawful standing. So now let's just say I go to this brother's family and say, listen, he proclaimed his nationality, right? So I don't know what actions he's done. I don't know what acts he's done, or anything like that. But just as an example. And his mother, father, sister, brother say, hell no, we ain't going. We're not doing it that way. We don't know nothing about that Moorish stuff, and we're not. Yeah, these are some of the things that we face by not being one. And so until we become one with who we actually are, we'll never be able to occupy the fixed territory going by one rule, which is the Constitution. Because most of us don't even know the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, designed to keep them at bay and so that other citizens won't molest you. So at minimum, you want that. At minimum, so that you're not molested by those other citizens. That's it and that's all. And if you practice that with everything, you won't be molested by me or anyone else either. You see what I'm saying? By each other. I didn't say by me, but I mean by each other. We wouldn't be, because we would be honoring that, which are the principles. All right? So this document ends with come on backwards. Y'all not going to believe this. All right, I will share this with y'all because there's no camera, so. That's what I do at night when I read. Is that cool? Some people think that's nerdy, but I don't think it's nerdy because I don't have to cut off any lights or anything like that. I just cut my glasses off. All right, resolution number 75, dated April 1933, Moorish American Society of Philadelphia, and use of their names. Now, of course, that's Philadelphia, but there's a lot of resolutions that were made. There's another one that was made. There's a lot that was made. Okay, this is another one, Constitution. Is this the same thing or something else?
What became the outbreak of the snake at the mountain? In order to the corporation about the plate.
Really?
Yeah, wrong.
But now this is the one I really wanted to read. When you sent the notice about the plate, all right, about the plates, and I understand that there was a lot of people operating and navigating with the plate. Can you talk into the mic, because we want to know why?
Islam.
Islam.
And the brother gave me his documentation, and the police look on the what they call you know what I'm talking about, in the computer.
Oh, we talked about that.
Yeah, and they found out that it was got a notice, and the governor of New York received that notice, and they said, let him go.
All right, but here's the thing: the governor of New York today is a jerk.
No, I understand.
No, I'm just saying. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying. Excuse me. I was setting a scenario. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. All right, look. What I'm saying is, I'm going to put the scenario of what our problems were, because we talked about this, that they were putting it on the records, so that when the policy enforcement stopped and they looked it up, they're like, oh, this is really a Moorish American. He's on our record. Hold on, follow me. He's on our record. So now, whether he was on their records or not, that's what our problem was. Because today, the governor of New York is the judge, the governor of New Jersey, the governor of all of them. They're not going to receive it